here. Okay, let's get to 35. All right, I think we're live. Yep, we are live.
When we last left our heroes, Steph, with 4 mission completions, was at the green bookcase having just required her last fingerprint. She has 2 inspects left to do. Could transfer. Could do something else entirely. Marimo appears to be at least relatively suspicious. Steph is, in fact, Hylet. Let's see how this game finishes up in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Exactly what time are you at?
35 seconds.
All right, thank you.
Steph looks like she's going to finish things off with the inspect here. This could be dangerous. Marimo looks like he's... Oh, does take the shot in the end! So...
All right, that was a lot of anticipation for that round.
It was.
Finally made it.
We got to the end.
That was basically, tune in next week, see the results of the cliffhanger. Will she survive the second statue visit?
All right.
She did not. There were a lot of other ways that you could have played that game, but it's very difficult to correctly decide which one to do when you don't know just how suspicious you are.
Yeah, and if you're Steph, I think the real shame is that you made so many good decisions that game and you got away with so much and put so much effort into it and just didn't quite pull it out. Steph has had so many of these games that she seemed on the verge of winning, but instead we're neck and neck.
Instead, it's SpyParty. The snipers have been bringing it home so far. Let's get into the next one. Marimo on the spy. Steph on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now here's the question. In the last game, Marimo did the idling thing, but then had a rush of activity late. What's it going to be? Revert to 4 or keep pressing?
Well, starts things off with 51% on the flirt, although that doesn't really say much. We'll see what he does with the double agent here, because that could be telling. It's a great time for it, at least it was, but no contact. Now people are starting to walk about. Yeah, Marimo just not hitting that right click.
Doing stuff is overrated.
It was such a good time for it. I'm so disappointed. All right, stepping into red bookcase. I will be so impressed if Marimo book cheeses, but he does not.
It is not in his nature, Tobo.
This is true. Pulls the red book out to the windows. 3 minutes left to play. As is the way of Marimo spy games, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, pretty much just going down the script here.
If he felt like jumping on it, he could have got a bug on the way back to red bookcase if he acted a bit quicker. Ooh, 2 flirt coming off from Marimo here, so that's very nice.
Yeah, some real options now with about 2.5 minutes left. Only 1 mission done, but it is one of the ones you can't rush, so that's something.
Starting off his inspects, Marimo's actually doing some stuff this game. It's not a lot of stuff, but he's doing some stuff. Stepping into conversation with the double agent. Contact comes off. 1 low light. Wants boots. Can't find her yet. 2 low lights. 3 low lights. Wheels as well was on the table as a low light, but isn't grabbed.
And that is let's say, that's below the normal over-under for Veranda if you get 3 and you highlight some.
Yeah, that's relatively good for Marimo.
Yeah.
Marimo has not been highlight yet, despite the statue visit.
And by the way, that's an underrated part of Marimo's game here. If you want to play slow like this, if you want to frame, your banana breads have to be good.
Yeah. This is very true. Finishing up in specs from the front statues here. Interestingly, still no statue highlights, so Steph might be doing this by memory.
Yeah, Steph definitely using lights in non-standard ways this set. Very creative player on the sniper side.
Marimo playing slow. 45 seconds to... Ooh, actually hits a time at it. It is a white test.
And I think she saw it.
That's bad. And we missed a pad.
Oh, leaves immediately from her perspective, at least at minimum.
He wasn't on a pad. He had to.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, and at this point, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, this is...
You went from not a suspect at all because you hadn't done much, but still 2 missions done. That wasn't a terrible position to be in, to top of the FBI's most wanted list.
Yeah. This is problems. Marimo is in a situation now and is going to have to find a way to dig himself out of it. I don't think he's used to being in positions like this. I think he's used to not being a suspect until he dies.
Doesn't Purloin. There we go. That's something.
I think he knows he can't afford to right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're at the mercy of the party. You lay low, you hope the AIs do some stuff, probably.
Banana bread.
Fake contact. 1 low light, 2 low lights.
Now, when I said AIs do some stuff, I didn't mean be out of conversation during another banana bread so you rule them out.
Yep. 2 low lights is not too bad trying to induce a shot, but I don't think Steph is going to bite. We shall see. Paying a lot of attention to the guest list. Oh, the X! Oh, God, that was not pretty.
She'll bite on that.
It didn't take. It didn't. Oh, man, that hurt me a little bit, Trek.
Yeah, I maybe there are worse bugs on Veranda, but dead center of the map, laser's not even really moving, back to the sniper. I don't know. That's about as visible as it gets. I understand things are desperate.
Pilot with the arm going out in front of a low light.
Yeah. I think at that point, I understand you're in a desperate situation, but I think the desperation has to take another form. Green time ads, idling, something.
It's still sniper party so far as Steph desperately tries to break that mold from the spy side of Veranda. Marimo looking to keep things all tied up in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I don't know what was going to happen that game if Marimo hadn't time added there, or at least hit the green rather than a white. That was clearly when the game changed. Marimo wasn't in a great position. There was not a lot of time left, but 2 missions were done, and there are some options to rush late, as we saw earlier. Now we'll never know.
Oh, look at this. We've got a animation transfer starting things off with the blue bookcase. Hilariously, it was a red test, but Marimo's so focused on the other side of the map that it was completely invisible.
Yeah, if you're going to red, do it at blue, for sure, on Veranda.
That was one of the more confusing sentences I've heard. All right, stepping in for our first flirt. It is a close white test for 34%.
I'm going to take that as a challenge, by the way. I can get way more confusing.
Bug attempt on the way around, but the ambassador stopped before he was able to come off, so it didn't wind up happening.
Yeah, not seen, so there's no real cost to it other than the frustration of not getting another cool bug.
Yeah. 2 minutes and 40 left to play. No completions, but a decent amount of progress. Another attempted reverse drive-by bug doesn't take.
I mean, the attempts are almost free from this position.
Yeah.
It's just really unfortunate that neither of them took.
Might as well. Oh, second flirt comes off up to 68%, and for some reason we got a bit of an Elvis shake going on.
Maybe just frustrated with the slow progress there.
Or maybe frustrated with the bugs not taking. Contact getting ready to happen. There it is.
There are a few
2 low lights on the table at the very least.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah. 2 low lights taken, one of which was highlight. General is still on the table. General does get low-lit, so does Wheels. Steph gets high-lit for the first statue visit.
The first statue visit on Veranda is always very significant because if you're not planning on completing inspects and there's no fingerprint there, you're basically probably never going to go.
Oh, it's a green swap!
That is very unusual. You do not see a lot of... I'm not sure if you'd call this mid-game on Veranda or not, but this is in sort of the outer limits of when you would swap on Veranda, maybe doing it precisely because it's so strange.
Oh, this could be very interesting. Finishes the flirt. Swap comes off. Shot comes off! And ladies and gentlemen, Sniper Party continues.
Yeah, Marimo was all over that, actually.
Yeah.
Was clearly looking at it, not zoomed in, but had a good view, nice angle from Rocker there because it was at the right statue in the back rather than the left. If it were on the left, it would have been a bit more of a chore, I think. But there was really no hesitation. Looked like he was specifically waiting for that green pop to happen.
Saw the fade, went right for the shot.
Yep.
Marimo was on top of things. As now, we head to the gallery. As we still have yet to find any spy wins at all in this set. Let's see if Marimo can change that. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, there have been a couple games where the spy had a real chance. Although I would say out of the 8 so far, maybe only 2 or 3 of those, the majority of these games, the sniper's been on top of it, and it hasn't been particularly close.
Indeed. Starting things off in the back conversation with the double agent, but lots of movement at the moment, so probably no contact as of yet. Oh my, that was unfortunate.
Marimo going serpentine, like he's trying to evade the cops or something.
Yeah, it was an odd one, to be sure. Stepping in for the first flirt, nice close green for 51%, but our position in conversation next to the suspected double agent here is dubious.
Now, you remember Marimo tried to do that sort of, I'm going to go to the pad and then leave a second later like an AI thing on Veranda, and we weren't sure about the pause there, but it otherwise seemed pretty innocuous. Kind of going for the same thing here, doesn't work out nearly as well.
Again, a very slow start from Marimo. Oh, seduction target gets real friendly. Second flirt comes off up to 85% now. So that's a bit of a gift.
Yeah, and you need it, again, on gallery. It's much harder to complete the flirt here than it seems like it's going to be.
Picking up the briefcase for a quick fingerprint. First of a necessary 2 on the board now. And was definitely seen as a highlight with the briefcase.
Yeah, I think actually right now, this has actually been a pretty docile party for something that's usually as chaotic as gallery.
Yeah. All right, statue visit. Good way to accrue suspicion as Marimo. Almost said Mario. That would have been wrong.
Oh boy, animation break, I think, there.
This is not looking great. Less than a minute, no completions. Why does Marimo keep doing this? Why do you do this to me?
You get invited to a fancy gallery party, and you have all sorts of etiquette problems. And Steph, pretty darn good at catching those sorts of things.
Stepping in for the last flirt. Finally, a completion on the board, but with only 30 seconds left, this is not looking great for Marimo. Green purloin. It's not white.
It's not white. Well, that's a relief at least. But another
Second statue visit.
Sees the list is
Fingerprint
gone.
comes off. This is going to be a long, long overtime, and it looks like Steph is already unhappy with Marimo. 8 seconds of overtime, immediately the shot comes off. It was a good try. The purloin came off relatively clean, I think, but that game just wasn't happening.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it didn't get shot a little earlier for some of those things. But at least we saw a green purloin. That's something. A little more drama.
Indeed. But we still don't have a spy win. Steph, please fix it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That was one of the better games for Marimo, at least in terms of mission progress, I think. Didn't require a huge rush at the end exactly. Obviously, still a bit, but there was steady progress on the flirt, got it done, got a fingerprint, got a second fingerprint. It was much closer to what I would call a quote-unquote normal spy game.
I would agree.
And I think it almost worked.
All right. Well, Steph starting things off with the quick 34% flirt in the back conversation. And then a little bit of idling.
Here's the question. Do you chase the seduction target? It's such a big decision, actually, on Gallery. Whether or not you just kind of take your chances, let them come to you. Do you chase them? Do you chase them a little bit? And then once they go outside, you decide, never mind, maybe I'll go to statues.
Oh, hello, Ambassador. Okay, we're not gonna do Ambassador things. That's interesting.
Yeah, decides not to go for it. It's actually a pretty vulnerable spot, though. I think it's a good decision.
I think I actually got a highlight for possible bug.
Well, that would be unfortunate. Could be for taking the evasive path. Sometimes someone so doesn't want to be seen bugging that they'll actually take a wider path than necessary away from the Ambassador. Looks like Steph might have done that while going around Toby.
Either way, he does pick up a print from that green bookshelf. This went from good to not good for Steph.
Yeah, in Gallery, the difference between making decent progress to falling behind can just be 20 or 30 seconds lost sometimes. And a highlight.
Second fingerprint, as well as a pair of inspects, is certainly going to be helpful. We still haven't gotten a second flirt, which is a little bit worrying on this map.
Yeah, normally the difference between the second flirt and a third flirt here with this amount of time, actually a pretty darn big deal.
Second statue visit for Steph. This is real spooky. We got 1:10 left to play. We've survived the 2 statue visits, but we still have 2 flirts and a contact to do.
Yeah, not necessarily in a terrible position here, but you're probably a big suspect. So what can you do? What can you do that you're going to get away with? It's probably not going to be something like microfilm.
How do we play this? We have to flirt here, right? Apparently not.
You have to time it if you're going to flirt. I don't think you're going to try to finish at this point. I think you're going to try to induce a shot with a swap or a purloin, and a purloin makes more sense because...
Well, then we haven't banana breaded though. We can't really induce a shot, and look at the party.
It's not ideal, but it might work, especially if one of the highlights takes.
White purloin. This is just death.
Yeah. When I said one of the highlights takes, I didn't mean you, Steph. Yep. Oh dear.
There it goes. Oof, that game was rough. It started out strong and then just fell apart halfway through.
Oh, and I know it's poor Damon. He's stuck running forever. He was unable to get to the spy, apparently.
Are you telling me that Damon failed to prevent a death at one of the parties he started?
Not only did he fail to prevent the death, he failed to even
make it to the body.
To even make it to the body. I gotta say, when his superiors hear about this, I'm sure he's going to be out of a job immediately.
You would think so.
We'll have to hire a replacement named Damon.
Yep. There's just got an assembly line of Damons, and they're all equally incompetent.
All right. Last map. This is, I think, Steph's best chance to take it home. It's her map pick. It's 3 of 5 high rise. Now, this may very well favor Marimo as well, because We have one less mission we have to get done. So we'll see how this turns out, but if we're gonna get a spy win, this is where it's going to happen. Starting things out with Marimo on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Let's see if they can manage a purloin with the mission turned off.
Yeah. No purloin, no swap, no transfer microfilm. So the available missions are fingerprint, inspect, seduce, contact, and bug.
By the way, the name Damon comes from Greek mythology, where the character agreed to take someone else's place before they were executed. Basically the exact opposite of what our Damon does.
Yes. All right, starting things out with dat flirtation. It's a white test for 34% on the close flirt.
Now, it's funny, there was like a good 4 or 5 seconds between when you said that flirtation and when it actually came off. You made a perfectly reasonable assumption that it would happen quickly, but on this mode, you actually want to watch those insta-talks on the flirts a little more than you normally would.
Indeed.
You can afford to. And you can also get caught flirting on this map, so makes sense to space things out just a bit.
Is in conversation with the double agent here, but there's too many people outside of conversation to think about the contact right now.
Yeah, you really need a good banana bread on this mode. It's non-negotiable. It's like balcony.
There will be more opportunities. Might be able to get a bug on the way out of conversation if we feel like. Second flirt comes off up to 68. Ambassador is not having his personal space violated, so he might hang around for a bit if we want to take this.
That's pretty unfortunate generally for the spy. You want the ambassador moving around a lot, generating a lot of fingerprints, generating a lot of soft tail suspects.
Went for the bug path without the bug, still no highlight. Minute and 30 left to play.
When you're sniping on high-rise 3-5, this is what you love. The ambassador, anyone walking by them is going to be clear. They're not moving. This makes the game so much easier on the sniper side.
Side statues to start things off. Pair of inspects have come off at this point. Still no highlight. Oh, Steph! Steph went safety off on Pearls and thought better of it, but that's a huge suspect. Oh, Marimo. Marimo with a big hardtail stopping in the middle of nowhere for a second, but doesn't get caught on it and finishes seduce at the bookcase. 50 seconds to play.
Steph does know there are other ways to zoom, right? That was terrifying.
That got real scary. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, she was taking a drink, and as we've established, it doesn't necessarily matter if the mission's off. You're still looking for those purloins.
Marimo, as always, low on time. 25 seconds and 2 missions to do. Inspect swap is not on the table. Haven't gotten the contact yet. Here's the chance for it.
You need to do it before 10 seconds.
It's a red test! It's bad! It's problems! There's the cough. There's the shot. There is yet another sniper win. And there is Steph on match point.
I really don't think the red test hurt at all. I mean, who are you looking at here? Pearls, maybe? And Pearls have been to a side statue, and that was it? I just don't think a shot was going to come off.
I was talking with Steph after the match. I think a shot would have come off.
Ooh, why is that?
Sounded like because she had tried to shoot Pearls earlier, but she decided, oh, wait, let's wait. And then, I mean, I don't know, maybe a shot wouldn't have come off, but obviously Duke would not have been shot there.
Yeah, it would have been a very aggressive shot, I think, certainly, in that case. She could not have even been done with inspects. I don't think anyone could have been done with inspects, actually. Not that that's the only consideration, but generally speaking, that's one of the easier scenarios to not to shoot in. But either way, another sniper win.
Wow. That's a really rough test for Marimo. Either way, that could be... Okay, that red test is either the difference between a tie and a loss or a tie and a win. No matter how you slice it for Marimo. that one right-click timing changes the fate of Copper. Let's see what Steph can make of it on the Spy side if we can finally get a win on the board. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Last match of the set. All sniper wins so far.
It only takes one, and we've been saying every week whenever we cast one of these close matches, and we do tend to cast disproportionately close matches, of course, we'll see a 5-5 tie, and when you win that next game, especially, when you get to snipe first, you get to go into this last game guaranteed a point in the standings, all upside if you can win the game and take both.
Starts things off with the flirt. Smallman as the seduction target.
And Marimo highlights Irish for an early briefcase.
Seduction hasn't actually come off yet.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that it made sense to delay those. I would say probably not this much, but fair enough.
Hey, gotta keep the snipers honest.
Yeah, apparently. Really, really honest, I guess.
33% off of that first flirt. That is just fine.
Yeah, but there's already 2 minutes left. What is the game plan going to be? The big decision on High Rise 3-5, first of all, is finish or not. And then whichever you choose, there are a lot of questions after that. Another wide
center
turn.
statue.
Center statue's a big choice, and that was not, I don't think that was a perfect path either.
Another thing to note, same mission setup as the last one. No purloin, no swap, no microfilm.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get purloin swapped in here, but usually this is the 5 you're going to see.
And a fingerprint to boot.
Can't resist that. As suspicious as it is, the ability to get a delayed fingerprint and the center statue. Now, maybe you get it. Now, there's still like 90 seconds left on the clock. You can maybe afford to try a difficult print or two, depending on what the ambassador does.
Either way, we are staring down the ambassador, looking to see where those hands wind up. White flirt at a slight distance, up to 66% now. So we are going to need. We can't just timer flirt here, and we're not going to. Watch check at the front windows. 1 minute left to play. It's got to be a flirt and a fingerprint, but I don't think we can afford to get that print from briefcase.
Now, really big question that Steph's got to be asking herself right now is, if I do get a second fingerprint, even if it's obvious, will there still not be a shot because I haven't banana breaded? That's the question right now.
We shall see. Window to window to window.
Yeah, I don't like the time loss here. I think you need to be finishing the fingerprint and the seduce and daring them to shoot without a banana bread. That's a tough shot to take on High Rise.
Well, Seduction Target is doing some briefcase shenanigans, which has been really unfortunate.
Can't time out of paintings.
No contact yet. This is...
And it's too late. It's going to go to overtime.
The bug coming through, but there's no way. And it's a sniper-only set. 6-6, not a single spy win. Finishing off tied.
I think that was a very winnable game. With 90 seconds left, Inspect was done. Seduce was about 2/3 of the way done. One fingerprint was done. You had a real chance to finish and dare them to shoot without the banana bread on High Rise. Maybe they're going to get you, maybe they're not, but you're putting them in a very difficult position there. I think that would have been the play, certainly.
Yeah, I feel like the Seduction Target was just really, like, from like 50 seconds onward, the Seduction Target was just not having it.
Yeah, there was definitely some bad luck there too, but you also need to respond to it a certain way. I think at that point, when you go to the painting and then decide to bug, it's like, what is the game plan, right? What happens after the bug? I guess you bug into flirt. I think as risky as a timeout is, it's probably the better option. There might not have been any good options, but there might have been better ones.
Either way,
still gets the point though.
Still gets the point. Could have been the full win for Marimo if not for that red test, but we're on